No one ever told me that grief felt so much like fear. No one ever told me that grief felt so much like fear. A fear of what? A fear of forgetting the sound of his voice, the sound of his laugh. A fear of others forgetting him. A fear that his life never mattered. Welcome to Rosanna's Lounge, where speaking grief is no taboo. My name is Rosanna Katunge, grief and loss expert and founder of ROZANA'S Lounge. In 1991, at the age of 24, I met and married the man of my dreams, Patrick. I remember being told that if you meet the one, you will know. And for us, it was love at first sight. He was such an incredible person, inside out. Now, 5 years later, my healthy, active, and handsome husband left for a work assignment to a neighboring country, and he never came back. He just didn't come back. Now, the plane he boarded at the Wilson Airport crashed at Gong Hills minutes after taking off, killing all on board. There were no warnings, no goodbyes. Here with me 1 minute, then kaboom, gone forever. Patrick, gone forever. He was only 33 years at his prime. I was a widow. Never in a million years did I expect that. A 29-year-old widow with a 4-year-old son and a 2-month-old daughter. I can assure you that no one ever wants to take on that title or the role, and especially not at such a young age. Knowing I had decades and decades ahead of me of raising my children all by myself, it was terrifying. I was terrified, extremely terrified. I just did not know how I was going to go through it. Let me tell you, losing a spouse suddenly is shocking, to say the least. It feels like your whole life has been snatched away from you. One day, you're married. The next, you're single, alone, and grieving. I got through those first days after his death, one day at a time. One day at a time. In fact, it did not even register with me that he was gone until his funeral. I honestly do not remember a single word that was said at the funeral. But what I will forever remember is the casket being lowered into the grave and me thinking, God, what have we buried? What have we buried? I thought this because I was never allowed to view Patrick's body. You know, the active, healthy, and handsome man. I was never allowed to view his body. When the plane crashed, it burst into flames, burning them all beyond recognition. So even as of today, I ask myself, what did we bury? What exactly did we bury? After the funeral was over, several people were saying to me, pick yourself up and move on. You're still a young woman, and I'm sure you will meet somebody someday. I know they meant well, but I found that very annoying and very unhelpful. I know they were trying to ease my grief and my pain, But that did not help, because what they were in fact saying to me was, forget Patrick. Like his life didn't matter. One thing I was never prepared for was lack of support from friends. They just simply disappeared. They became absent. Couples I had earlier considered as good friends disappeared. They never contacted me and never invited me over. And they also never came to see how I was doing. They simply did not know how to deal with me being single. So I felt so lost, so abandoned. Now, grief does not happen in a vacuum. It happens alongside other mix of other emotions. So, 5 years later, I met Clifford Murunga and I opened another chapter in my life. And by all means, life is good, really good. But I haven't moved on. I hate that phrase. Make sure you watch my next video on that. What it says is that Patrick's life, love, and death were just moments that I can leave behind. But on the contrary, it is his life, his love, and death that made me the person that my current husband, Murunga, wanted to marry. So my love for Patrick and my grief for Patrick and my love for Clifford are not opposing forces. Rather, they make me the person I am today. So, we need to remember a grieving person, if they are lucky, will find love again, as I did. And they will move forward, but that does not mean they have moved on. Today, if you are grieving, talk about it. It always pays to talk. If you have nobody to talk to, you can talk to me. So drop me your email address below and I will get in touch. The more we talk openly about our loss, then the tabooness of grief in our culture will cease to exist. The more we talk openly about our loss, then the tabooness of grief in our culture will cease to exist. Thank you for joining me in this journey. I will see you again next week. Remember, grief is the price we pay for love. God bless.